Riff Raff, the 2025 crime comedy from director Montiel, feels like a movie that desperately wants to be a classic but stumbles over its own ambition. With a cast boasting heavyweights like Ed Harris, Jennifer Coolidge, Bill Murray, and Gabrielle Union, you'd expect a sharp, darkly hilarious romp that leaves you quoting lines for days. Instead, what we get is a bloated and tonally confused mess that wastes its talent on a script that can't decide if it's a gritty mob thriller or a slapstick family reunion gone wrong. The premise, about a reformed criminal enjoying a peaceful life until his chaotic past crashes into his present, sounds promising enough. But the execution is where it all falls apart. At just 103 minutes, the film somehow feels endless, dragging its feet through redundant flashbacks and convoluted plot twists that don't so much surprise as they exhaust. It's like Montiel and writer John Polono threw every trope from a Tarantino or Coen brothers playbook into a blender, hit puree, and forgot to taste the result. The constant timeline hopping feels less like clever storytelling, and more like a crutch for a script that doesn't trust its audience to connect the dots. It's painful to watch good actors flounder with so little to work with. Coolidge is saddled with a one-note drunken horny caricature that's more cringe than comedic, as her shtick feels like a tired retread of better roles. Murray's gangster character has flashes of menace and wit, but he's undercut by a story that doesn't know what to do with him, beyond a few quips and a gun. Harris and Union try to anchor the thing with some gravitas, but their characters are so thinly drawn that you're left wondering why they bothered showing up. Pete Davidson, as a dim-witted henchman, is the only one who seems to be having fun, but even that gets old fast. Visually it's a snooze, flat, and uninspired, with a holiday home setting that's supposed to feel claustrophobic but just looks cheap. The dialogue crackles occasionally, but too often it's buried under a pile of cliches, or drowned out by a soundtrack that apes better films without earning the comparison. By the time the climax arrives, complete with bloodshed that's more contrived than cathartic, you're too checked out to care. This movie isn't offensively bad, it's just disappointingly hollow. For every moment that hints at something clever or fun, there's a dozen more that feel like a rough draft nobody bothered to polish. With a cast this stacked, it's a crime that the movie isn't at least a guilty pleasure. Instead, it's a forgettable slog that proves even the best actors can't save a story that doesn't know what it wants to be. It's not worth to spend time to watch this. We do not recommend this movie at all.